Now it started.
Oh, now it started.
Oh,
Okay.
and then it ended.
Oh, yeah.
Take
2.
Take 3.
Okay. Okay, le mitakepi. A betu ki le yuskia na betu chiuza pelo le miacha. Le chi wana le I controla le chi wahina. Optele le wagla kinkta ashe. Le nia duehena le chi anagupta na kaki ana. Le chi due le chi wamangi kena hena si wangla kam na ke. Daku Spanish ab nice daku Slovenia kinkte lo cha hogana opila tranke prelo ake truka daku chamukte ke wuchek unsi unya ochimpikte lo. So my relatives, I greet you with a handshake, a warm handshake, and that I come to the radio station to share words about the language and the culture. And today is a good day, and we also as usual, we want to start with a prayer that is called the Serenity Prayer. And first, I'll say it in English. It says, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So in Lakota, it's Trunkashila Wachwala Mak'u Yo. Hena Umakia, yeah. Na daku waglutroksha oakihi, hena washag mak'u yo. Na umakia ki he lena woksape heche wagluha kta yellow. So that is the serenity prayer that we incorporated in the what we call the Lakota Cultural Hour. So at this time, I'm going to flash something that was presented to me, and it's a beautiful, beautiful sweater, and it has some words on it, but so I don't know what it means, so maybe I could ask some of the guests that have come in for the show today to maybe share some information so that I can know a little bit about this.
How KIPI. Matho ayuhi imachia pelo. Naha iuha chante washtea na prechiuza pelo na oyate mitawa hena ocheti shakoi na tritwa. What's up, everybody? Live and thriving from Eagle Butte, South Dakota. My name is Matho Ayuhi. I'm Oglala Lakota. And yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me. And yeah, we're going to talk some stuff, talk some language, talk some culture, talk some tips and some woke sape for the youngins out there. But yeah, happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Halmatakiapi, Jana Schmieding Machiapi. I'm Jana Schmieding. Maybe you know me from Reservation Dogs. I play Bev, the IHS broad. Also from Rutherford Falls. Out on my homelands in Cheyenne River. I'm enrolled here, so I'm one of you. You're my people. I'm your people. You're cursed with me. Sorry. But yeah, I'm so happy to be out here. We're out here shooting a short film, and we're going to talk about it today. And I'm really excited to talk about our culture and our laughter and our filmmaking and the experiences we've been having this week and beyond. But thank you for having me here today.
Hello, everyone. My name is Justin DeLeon. I live in California, coming here visiting this week and over the last handful of years. I'm Filipino, come from an indigenous region of the Philippines. And a few years ago, I was visiting, and I visited with the Bigfoot ride. And I vowed that was the last time I'd ever come back in winter to Eagle Butte. Never got above 3 degrees for the entire 2 weeks. But I'm happy that we have a warm spell here, and I'm part of this film crew, and I'm appreciative of all the welcoming arms that we've had over the last week. Thank you.
I'm a Dakapi, Talon Basil Dushino Machiapelo, Basil Demie, I've been grateful to be on this program a lot. KIPI, love home, love being back in Eagle Butte. I'm from here. I'm enrolled here, also from Crow Creek, but we won't talk about that right now. I'm just happy to be a part. Y'all have known me for my music and my aspirations with sound. Every time I've come in here, I've talked about the importance to me of like getting to come to Eagle Butte. It used to be like such a rare occurrence for me to get opportunities to do fun, like make new beautiful memories here. But this one, and it's come more, and then this one has meant so much to be amongst like real Wichachpi stars like Jana and Matho and Robert and Roselle and so many people who are part of this crew who I'm sure you'll hear about in this conversation. I get to be a lovely sound apprentice under Justin Deegan. I'm really grateful for that, grateful for the opportunity, and that it's brought me back here into the station to be on the GI's show. G.I. Cho over there.
Cho.
That's credit to Matho too. I ain't taking credit for that. That was cool. But yeah, just really, really happy to be here. And we talked about the term there on that sweater, wo oyake, which means storyteller. First People's Film Lab has brought so many of us indigenous creatives and indigenous allies together to make different kinds of film in different kinds of way that are more to us as peoples, whether we're Lakota, Dene, Blackfeet, like so many different things and ways in which like we want to be mindful. And that's why I like the woe in there, like I know it doesn't mean mindfulness, but when I see woe, I think of like how mindful we are in action. Wo hitika, wo achante ognake, wo wa unshila. And I feel like this week we've experienced that even from you, Dana, like the laughter you've brought us and like the crazy stories you and Steve have told this week. Like it's resonated with me, because we come from like Eagle Butte could be a crazy place, and we can sit in sometimes like the sadness, but to make it into something funny, into something that can help us like, be okay about it. That's awesome. So happy to be here.
Just Carl Peterson here with KIPI Radio. I just had a question for Justin. So what is the film you guys are working on here? Can you tell us a little bit about it? More about your crew, who's working on this? Why are you filming in Eagle Butte? What's going on here?
Yeah, thanks for asking. So the First People's Film Lab is really just a project-based collaboration of a bunch of folks that know each other, that want to try to explore storytelling and filmmaking in a different way. Is there such a thing as an indigenous approach to filmmaking or a relational approach to filmmaking? And we're just trying new things. And we had a program in 2018, 2022, different parts of the U.S. and also in Canada. And then years ago, Dana and I have always joked around about making a film. And so we said, okay, well, what would it look like if we tried to bring a program here to Eagle Butte? But it's more than just a film. So the film is called Directing Charlie, written by Lennox Bad Moccasin, and who's from here in Eagle Butte. And we have a crew of about 32, 34 people. And at one point, it was like upwards 70% were Lakota folks and 90% were indigenous. And yes, we're here to make a great film. I'm sure the other folks can talk about what it is. But we're also here to have a lasting impact and see what happens when we try to bring other people along and train them along in making films. So if one of the outcomes of this film is having a great film that we can share, that's great. If another outcome is that we can have 5 or 6 other apprentice films, other creator films come from this process, then we'll really have been successful. So it's a mentorship type program. It's a way of viewing filmmaking as something we've always been doing, as storytelling and empowering and sharing our messages with the outside world and our families and our communities. So that's a bit about the program, but I'm sure others would really give a good description of what the film is about.
Jana, could you tell us a little bit about your character and what this means for you coming back to Cheyenne River to film? Is I guess the first time or?
No, I've been back several times. I also have my maternal grandmother's from Rosebud, so I have a lot of family in Rosebud as well, and so yeah, I come back and visit a lot. But I was born and raised in Oregon, and I grew up there and went to college there, and now I live in Los Angeles and am working in the Hollywood entertainment industry, and so I love to come home, and I love seeing my family here, and I love being on my homelands is just feels really good, but to be able to do a creative project out here is really fun. And I'm hoping to do more. In fact, I have a movie that I'm trying to develop and get funded right now. It's a feature-length film, and it's called Auntie Chuck, which is a play on the movie Uncle Buck. And I would be John Candy, but a lady version playing Auntie Chuck, who is Uncle Buck. And I want to shoot it out here in Cheyenne River. So when Justin and Razel Benali asked if I would jump onto this project and help bring Lennox's script to life, I thought this is a great opportunity not only to just do something fun and creative with my friends, but also sort of see what we have in terms of the technical skill, filmmaking skills, and talent and infrastructure out here to be able to do a full, month or 2 month long movie shoot. And now that I've been out here bringing Lennox's script to life, it seems like we do have it. We have it now. I just have to, find a rich person to give me $1 million so I can make my movie. But the script directing Charlie is really from Lennox Badmoxen's heart and soul. It's his experience told in a very sort of beautiful metaphor through the story of two siblings, an older sister and her younger brother, Charlie, and I play the character Dinah, and their mother is in the hospital. She's had a fall, and the older sister Dinah is coming home from the city to the res to find any paperwork that she needs to bring to the hospital. And it's just a very quick slice of life of them the siblings trying to sort of grapple with what's going on with their parent, and how are they sort of stepping into the role of collaborating around becoming the caretakers for their parents, which is, I think, a very relatable feeling for all of us. At some point in your life, we as the children of our parents do become the caretakers of them, and it's a tough transition to embody. And so the short film is about these two siblings sort of in the office rummaging around in all of their mom's paperwork and craft supplies and trying to find these important documents, but also sort of reliving their past and trying to get to a place where they can, effectively care for her and get through their own BS so they can step into that role. And then on the other side of the script, we see the four directions as they're embodied in actual human characters, and how the four directions are in the other world sort of guiding these two siblings through this tough time, and how they're also helping to sort of navigate this space with their human counterparts. So it's really a beautiful script, and it's just been so fun and also part of the project, the First People's Film Lab aspect of it is a few weeks ago, I came to Rapid City and taught an audition workshop to about 25 folks from around different reservations in South Dakota and North Dakota. And we had a really fun time. Talon was there, and we just did a day-long workshop that is sort of the basics of acting and auditioning. And then in the afternoon, we actually, practiced auditioning in front of a camera. And then the next day, everyone came back and auditioned for the parts of the four directions. And so we cast 4 people from that audition workshop in the actual project. So I have acting apprentices and have been able to kind of train up very, very preliminarily train up some folks who are interested in performing to know how to sort of get their foot in the door an audition, which is a really tough skill to have as an actor, and it's kind of sometimes the only way in. So yeah.
Matho, would you like to share some information on that?
Yeah. Well, I play Charlie in the short film, and I had a great time working with Jana. I did the music for Reservation Dogs, and I've done a few other, I guess, kind of like side collaborative projects with you, but we've never got to like actually share words on camera and like build something together. And so it's really fun because as much as I, was seen as kind of like an actor, I'm pretty unseasoned in a lot of ways in terms of acting.
He's green. He's very green, and he was a nightmare on set.
Yeah.
If I may say,
I had a lot of
an
These are lies.
absolute nightmare.
a lot of diva requests.
Diva.
Yeah, only green M&Ms and
Oh my gosh, his rider was 2 pages long.
right, exactly. But they really catered to me, and it was important. I blew the budget, but it's okay. It's
Heavy
all
on
right.
water.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
No, none of that's true. But it was good. It was really fun. I think what I did learn though a lot from Jana was like kind of wearing the scene, you like put it on. You like wear it like clothes because they're not really your clothes. It's like Lennox's conception, what he thought of with his characters. And then our job is just to like put them on and make them look good basically. And so I like that aspect of it. And it didn't feel like acting a lot of the time because I am a little brother and I've lost a parent, and like I've also like gone through what Charlie goes through, and I've been angry with my siblings, and I've been really caring and loving towards my siblings. And and I also have a sister. So it's like 2 sisters. And so like a lot of it was feeling super, super close to home. And I've been in that like exact position that we were in yesterday shooting. So that was really cool. Nothing has really hit home like that script. And yeah, it was really fun. I mean, it was great. I've done a lot of work like this where basically you're kind of mentoring folks who are wanting to learn more about filmmaking, because we've talked about this amongst ourselves, but there's not a strong literacy rate for filmmaking within Indian country and just Lakota communities, and that's by design. It's like we're not really meant to learn these kinds of things. We're meant to not bite the hand that feeds us and have no infrastructure of our own. And speaking of what Jana said, yeah, like I'm very steadfast on making sure that we're doing everything we can to build horizontally to make sure folks have that. And they're not afraid. The biggest thing is like they're just leading with courage, and collaboration. So yeah, it was fun to see that actualized on set. And I'm really proud of the folks who are involved, all the Eagle Butters out here doing their thing, and, a couple Oglalas and different folks from around this area. It was really fun to see. And I've done a lot of work around the area creatively too. So it was fun it was weird. It was a moment where I was like, wow, I almost know everyone on set from different things, like Talon from rapping, and Justin, I think we just knew each other from my other nonprofit, Outlast Arts and Education, and then Jana from Res Dogs, and folks who I met in New Zealand when we were doing stuff out there. It was really random, just in a really native way, which is really cool. So yeah, I had a great time, it was really fun. It was also nice I come from music, and that's how I make a living and stuff. And so it was fun to kind of pivot a little bit while still taking the same approach to like creativity, so yeah, I had a really good time.
Matho's in his ludicrous era.
There's a lot of other people you could have said.
Could have said Tupac.
Right, said Tupac. Luda. Tyler, Luda. I prefer J-Lo, honestly. Me and my J-Lo. But yeah.
We'd like to ask Talon if he'd like to share some insights after listening to the 2 the actors or main actress.
Oh man, like I'll just start with saying, when I got asked to do this from Justin here, Justin shot a music video for me like over 10 years ago. I was in the college at Philadelphia for psychology, and I wasn't supposed to be doing anything with music or entertainment or what made me happy, truly. But I thought that like psychology was part of that for me because it was the thing kind of like keeping me alive. So the way like so many people in my life have supported that, it outside of the education system, even though they're even within it themselves, some of them, it's really cool. So when I got asked to do this, you know, however many years later, 10, 11 years later, and hearing who's all part of it, I mean, like Matho said, like so many of us are connected. But for me, as like an apprentice as well, I've really only done music. I've done some theater sound design and like some local stuff. I've wanted to do sound so much that I've taken like recordings of Oscar Howe, recordings of my uncle talking about old stories, and then putting soundscapes to them. And someone I'm really like just in such admiration of is Matho, because that stuff he did on Res Dogs, I would message him, like, especially remember the fish episode?
Oh yeah.
That work on there is so cool and intricate. And when you ask anybody else to do psychedelia type stuff, you get kind of stereotypical, like, oh yeah, I've kind of heard that before, kind of typical. When I heard Matho do it in that episode, there was just something about it that felt so like real and natural, but also like tangible for me to like understand. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense, like sound wise, and it gives me this like feeling in my body. And I don't know if I'll ever get to be able to do sound design to that extent, but to be able to like work under Justin Deegan, who's done film and sound design, so many different things, and he's letting me operate the boom, which is the thing you hold, which you don't think is that big of a deal, but it's important because if you shake and you mess up the sound, like, oh man. So I'm like, oh, I skipped the gym for like 3 months. So I messed up.
It's like, yeah, it is weirdly hard. It's like, that
You
boom.
don't think
I've
so.
operated a boom before too. It's really, it's misleadingly, like you kind of do it and you're like, that doesn't look hard. And then, it's actually, I feel you. And you mess up takes too. If you mess up, like the boom just kind of creeps into the shot.
Especially so like, and I kept saying that is the grace of these mentors is crazy because, you know, it's not just that we had takes to not mess up, but these are new. Some of these are new actors. So that one take that they get, that's the perfect take. You can't mess that up sound wise. And then two, we had a short time. I think we just 3 days, and that's stress. So for people on camera, for people on sound, for the director to take the time to stop and be like, hey, this is how you do this, or this is the trick that I do to make sure that this is covered, and all of those methods and stuff. That's like stuff that, you know, in the colonized world, people hold on to that and they protect it and they can't let it go unless you give them, you know, a year of college compensation or something like that, you know, tuition. But, you know, everybody's been so generous. And I'm just kind of walking in a lot of gratitude. And then to be here, you know, like the fact that it was so real and so many of us had to take a step back sometimes and process and cry and pray and smudge everything. I'm just so like blessed that I get to be a part of something that's real and not something that's fake or that misrepresents my home and this place that I love so much. And that I got to see friends of mine here too and tell them about it and not feel embarrassed about it and be like, yeah, we're doing this thing, bro. Hey, see, guys are making skins too. That's crazy. Yeah. Start laughing, you know. But so I'm just happy. I'm really happy. Machante Nina Yushka.
Justin, we'd like to hear some comments from you.
I'm just happy to be here with all this amazing talent. You know, it's great to have representation. It's great to have Black and brown folks in front of the camera and even behind the camera, obviously. But is that the end goal? I think our project is looking at what happens when you get Black and brown folks behind the camera. What has to change? You know, what Talon was talking about, how folks hold on to information so tightly. Do we want that? Do we want that to be the norm? Do we want it to be extractive? Do we want it to be hierarchical? And the answer is no, but we don't exactly know how to get there yet. So I think part of my role is just, I'm not on camera. I'm not even really behind camera. I just ask people to work on developing that language so that we can try to keep taking those steps forward. So I'm grateful, and I'm grateful to be here with friends and family too.
Carl, do you have any other questions you'd like to pose at this time?
All remember someone saying, the language aspect of your show, if there's something you'd like to share with the team or any questions they have with you, I think this is really cool to have some of our Lakota people that are out there in the world that maybe don't get to come home too often to, our Lakota lands here, to have access to you as an elder and to our language. So that's what I'd like to see. If you guys have any questions for Dana, or if there's any cool sharing of worlds that could happen here.
I do. I have a question.
Just one question.
Okay. I can't mess this up. Okay. My question is both linguistic and, it's mostly linguistic, okay? I didn't grow up learning my language, so I'm learning it as an adult. And something that we always say as Native people in the comedy world, is laughter is medicine. And we know that as comedians, that being funny is basically our medicine, our special medicine that we bring to our people, and that's really important. And I know that you talk a lot about mental health on this show, Dana, so I wanted to make sure that, I'm talking a lot about, how comedy and laughter has changed my life and held me down when I needed to lighten things up. So I wanted to learn that phrase from you, laughter is medicine, so that I can put it on a t-shirt and sell it for $25 a pop. Just kidding.
And I'm the problem on set.
No, but
Can I trademark that?
It's mine. No, I think that that is to me, laughter is my medicine, and it's what's kept my mind and my heart healthy for years and years and years. So I'd love to learn that in our language.
I think there's a limitation on lettering on a T-shirt. But a long translation, laughter is ichata. Icha is to smile. But when you say ichata, it's a hard H, icha. Ichat means to laugh. And when you smile, it's kind of like not as powerful. But when you laugh, everybody has a certain laugh. And then pejuta is medicine. So you have to connect. And that's where these books come in, these dictionaries and beginners programs. And so ichata hantash pejuta yakaga. Ichata hantash pejuta yakaga. So you're making medicine through laughter. So hantash is kind of like a connecting word, and it's a kind of a state of being. So when you're starting a process of maybe a thought towards a sentence or a composition, then your means you're in a state, and then hantash means you're actually moving in that direction to create that thought or compose a sentence. So pejuta ichat hantash pejuta yakage means you make. Ya is you, kage means to make. So it's kind of like we have English words, but they're hard to translate into Lakota because you can't just say ichat pejuta, which could be could work too, but you have to really be respectful to our elders before us that taught this language, and so this is a spur of the moment translation, and I know when I was growing up in the 70s and 80s, they called me the word man because when they translate a word from Lakota, English to Lakota, they say word man. Where's word man? So I said, oh man, here I go again. And I didn't have any dictionaries. Today I have some resources. I found this at the landfill.
I know
that's
that
where
one.
I go shopping.
I know that one.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and this is the original one. This one here is the original. And this is done here locally. I think in the 70s, 78, thereabouts.
Wow.
And it's a Sioux Nation Arts Council. And it's all a dialect that will base it on the four bands that are here in Cheyenne River, on Cheyenne River. So it's a very valuable, I call it a pocket dictionary. And it fits right in my jacket pocket. And it has my father's name, Wilmer Dupree's, and I kept it. He died in 96, but I still carry this. And I kind of put it by the bed or put it in a drawer, top drawer, and so it's within reach. And so it's local. A lot of the publications are more based on the Christian system. And so it's Christian-based teachings, and so we have to either approve of it or disapprove of it, and try to create something that's neutral. Like this is more what people here talk. What subject matter they use, and so that's the portion that I was asked to come on and then share as much as I know, and so with that, I think there anybody else have any questions on language or okay, Matho?
Ichata, chantas, pejuta, yakage. Okay, word.
And yakage means you have made it,
Yakage.
and if it was yakara means you're still making it. So
Yakage.
just a little e and a a.
Yeah.
Oh.
We had
Yakage means it's done.
we had a fun moment on set a few days ago, Talon and I.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to translate "The Boys Are Back in Town" in Lakota because I got a great video. It was actually you and Steve holding Justin's baby, and it was just cute. But there's clearly
That golden rule of all places. just chilling.
clearly in a bar, but it was just cute, and I was like, to me, it just screamed "The Boys Are Back in Town." But that was really Lakota too, so I was like, we got to translate that. So I went up to Talon, who I know is very, very proficient in our language, and I was like, can we figure this out? And so we got a rough translation. It's like, okay, Hokshila, Tuahe. And then I was like, let me cross reference. So I hit up my Lekshi Rick Two Dogs, and he helped me get this. It was a Hokshila Kiake o Tuahe Ekta Glihuna Bielo. The boys are back in town, which is not as
That is
glamorous,
so long.
not as glamorous on a shirt, but yeah, I that was a great moment and like a cool
Does
thing.
it have any kind of different connotations, or or is it? Simply,
Oh, right.
Like, is it like the boys are back on the res, or?
Well, I know Hokshila's boys. Kiake is like again. Otuahe's town. Ekta is Ekta is like returning. Yeah, and then I don't know Glihuni Bielo.
Glihuni means to return.
Yeah, and then so it's kind of like, yeah, what I learned with Lakota is it's kind of like subject, and it all changes places a little bit. But yeah, that's always fun. I feel like that's a nice way to learn. That's how I've kept up, because my dad was teaching me Lakota for years, and after he passed, I started kind of picking it up again, I guess, and that was a way I could do it. Which also musically, and Talon knows this too. It's like it's fun to do that from a song standpoint within like hip hop and R&B and stuff, is like to sing and rap in Lakota. It's super fun.
Yeah. What's cool too is like Lakota, even though those phrases are very long, like there's certain words where you could just play with that word, like what that means, because it encapsulates so much of our language, encapsulates a lot. So there's times I know where we both are like, I have this song called Otehike, and the whole song is just about, I think it's like, I've been seeing babies hustle and a bustle way before they ever knew a mock or a bustle. Like, that survivalism before even being able to learn your culture, because you're so trying to like, get through the struggle. Yeah. So a tehike, it's like you could, and it could be a different term of it too, and mean something completely different, or even like as simple as ga versus ge, like at the end of a sentence, like, and how it changes everything. So I love that too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's a great story that my dad taught me about how, and Dan, I don't know if you've heard the same one, but it's about how we got our word for soda pop. And because soda in Lakota is kapopapi.
Yeah.
And this is what he told me. He said, like, back in like the old settler days, there was a bunch of Lakotas who went up to like a town. I don't know if it was probably in South Dakota somewhere. And the settlers thought it'd be funny to mess with the Indians. And so they're, oh, try this beverage, try this drink. But before they handed the soda to the natives, they shook it up. So they shook up these sodas and then they gave them to the natives, and the natives opened them and went all over their faces. And so the Lakotas were like, ah! So gapopapi means like it explodes, it bursts. So that's the name that lasts with soda.
See, they never taught me that. They just taught me that, hey, if you learn how to say, give me a pop in Lakota class, I'll get you a pop. So that way we would learn, because we'd be like, we chazo, we chazo blue high yellow, like I have a pencil. But then they'd say, hey, teacher, kapopapi wanji makuo, give me one pop. And you told us if we talk to you in Lakota, you'll do it.
Man.
Thank you. I believe we also want to address culture and mental health issues. Those are two other subject areas that we are in our program we'd want to address. And I know with culture being today's, in a time when winter, everybody dressed up traditionally in their winter gear. We all go around with windbreakers and Oxfords. No. And Justin has his headband on. So. But culture is a way of identifying, yourself and how you show yourself to the world. And then and one of the things that, if you want to share with the young people, hopefully, we'll get a target audience of younger people that want to learn about Lakota, how to speak it, and also the culture, that they belong to. So if you want to address a message or send a message to the young people, we could do that at this time. Anybody, want to jump in there, you're welcome to.
I definitely think we all could in our own way, right?
Yeah, I have so many things to say to young people, to our young people especially. I think all of us kind of all of us on Turtle Island are struggling right now. We're sort of undergoing a lot of we're still experiencing a lot of colonial violence, and I think we're seeing it really heavily right now in Minneapolis, and we are, of course, feeling the economic strain out here on the res and everywhere. But there's just a heaviness about our culture right now, as people who live in what's now called America. And I think it's especially hard for us as Native people because we don't have the same resources, and struggling financially has always been part of who I am as a Native woman. Being poor has always been a part of who I am as a Native woman, and I think Native women, as the Native woman here, and the Lakota woman in this room, I think it's like I look around and I see all the other Native women that I'm in community with in Los Angeles, and then I come out here and I see it happening here too, which is we're really holding it down for our people, and we're doing a lot of emotional labor, and a lot of physical labor, a lot of parenting, our grandmothers are parenting their grandkids and the community's grandkids. And so I just want to say a special shout out to our young women out there who, you are probably already strapped with a lot of responsibility, and the responsibility of taking care of yourself, but also taking care of those around you, being a little mother yourself. And you're looking ahead at the future and seeing sort of a future of also having to do a lot of caretaking. And I grew up with that responsibility myself, and I think that it's just sort of the hand that we were dealt. And we have to be really strong for our people. And we have to really also resist the things that we're being taught culturally, that we are not strong and that we are not empowered and that we're not smart and we're not brilliant and that we're not community leaders. So we are the leaders. We are the ones that we are striving to be. And I want you to look at yourself I've never had really strong women role models in comedy or in acting. So I just look to my left and to my right and I see the people around me and I think these are the broads that are really getting stuff done for our people. And I want to be one of those people. I want to be out there like with the energy and the enthusiasm and the confidence to really be able to hold it down for folks. One thing that I know is really prevalent in South Dakota specifically, because of my arch nemesis, Kristi Noem, and all of her people, is our reproductive rights, our responsibility over our own bodies as women. And it's really important as women that we have the right to make our own decisions. And the church is often going to tell us a different story, and the government is going to make it impossible for us, and especially in South Dakota, to make sure that we can take care of ourselves and that we can make decisions for ourselves. But we have to find a way to make sure that we have those rights. It's crucial to my success, and this is just the way that I chose to live. I had the choice, and I'm so grateful that I did. It is crucial to my success that I can financially support myself and that I didn't have children because I've always been kind of poor. And it's been tough. It's been tough to even take care of myself. So I know you know what I'm talking about. I had never had children, but I have access to reproductive rights. If I need to make that tough decision for myself, I can. But I live in California, and in South Dakota, you do not have that same access. So I want to encourage you to get involved with the other women in your community and talk about this stuff. Talk about what it means to have reproductive justice in your community. Talk about what it means to be a young woman strapped with that kind of responsibility and how it can really, really diminish your light sometimes. Children are a gift and a blessing, and we have to take care of them, and we do. But we want to be able to live our own life first and then make the decision when we're ready to take on that responsibility. And part of that responsibility is having other people in our world, the men included, advocating for us and taking care of us in that way. Taking care of us means that you stay protected. It means that you talk to your partner about the risk of unprotected sex. It's talking about the risk of, unwanted pregnancy and what that means on the other side. And it's accessing community resources to make sure that you're able to make a responsible decision and you're activating your choice while we have it. So I really encourage our young women to step into your power, girl. You have to, and it's time. And fight the good fight. And what I mean by that is fight the patriarchy. The white patriarchy is really oppressive right now. It's really, really strong. And we are way stronger than it, though. We have generations of knowledge about how to take care of each other, and we have to fight for that. So be strong, exercise choice when you can, and, take care of your body. Take care of your body and your heart. Whew.
Thank you, Jana. Anybody else would like to address that?
I think stemming off of what Jana said too, I feel this a lot as like a Lakota Dakota male because I've grown up in an interesting era here in Eagle Butte and Fort Thompson. You know, like there was a time where we were kind of, it almost felt like even school is kind of encouraging us to be ashamed of who we are. Still in that day in the early 2000s, a lot of people were going to gangs and other culture because they didn't like the other one. And when you did stuff like sing on the drum or try and you make that like that shy leap to try to learn or try to sing, you know, I've gotten laughed off drums here. And that's what led me to rap, honestly, because I got shy and embarrassed of my voice. But through hip hop, I found myself coming back because I would find guys like the Derelict, who me and Troy Eagle Chasing here, Maniac DJ Supernatural. That's like our mentor. That's like our Chie, who he would sample AIM speeches and Leonard Peltier, and he would talk about the FBI. He would talk about toxic masculinity. This guy is not famous. He released an album this year amongst many other years just on mediafire.net, and you download it for free. And maybe 5 people, 10 people did it, but we're all the ones who've been there. Spoke to us like that and told us it's not about fame and cash and money. It's about the spirit of this thing. Even hip hop has a deep-seated spirit that we're a part of because indigenous peoples have contributed to not just genres within American history, but the development of those genres. The blues would not do certain types of hums it does without the Muskogee, without the southern tribes there. In the East Coast with jazz, you know, now we know about Mildred Bailey, how Frank Sinatra, she was the queen of swing. You know, we wouldn't be like, jazz wouldn't be what it is without Native people, and hip hop comes from all of that. So, you know, on one end, for the youth, it's like if you like K-pop and anime, all that stuff, please know that there's a way for you to still be Lakota, Dakota, Nakota, anything through that. You know, I see images now where kids are drawing like anime style, but it's Lakota characters, and that's so cool to me because we are not stagnant. The funniest, like coolest, like example I can think of is in Northern Cheyenne country, our allies up there, the Shihila. They have old pictures of like some of their chiefs, and a couple of them they're wearing these like the old school swimming goggles. And I'm like, how come they're wearing that? And there's these little holes in them. I thought maybe like it's for the sun or something. And someone laughed and they're like, you know what happened? These settlers came in and they had a crate of them and they traded them for something. And people liked it. They were cool. So that was fashion for them. So I believe that because colonization has disrupted so much, it's made us scared, right? To be a part of industries, to even to enter into economic exchanges with people and feed ourselves and be okay with asking, you know, this is how much I know I'm worth and this is how much is going to make sure my family's paid. But also, you know, for the young people, have grace with your elders. Everything's scary for them because they worry about you so much. So when you go out there like me and I got my face painted and I'm rapping about the Wakias and I'm like going in, I know I scare some elders, but I still do it because I know that there's also kids out there who are like skaters and they're trying to find their way and they live kind of rough, but then they see me and they're like, yo, and they're throwing this up. I love that. And I don't need, you know, millions of fans like that, but even just the one to see that makes me feel something. And so for anybody out there, when you put yourself out there, even if it feels specific, it's a universality that was talked about today amongst like our professionals, our mentors, who said like, yeah, lean into that specificity because they're encouraging us to write our screenplays and make more films. And they're like, tap into your individual self because that individual self will become universal. Just like how we can watch The Godfather and all these things that aren't Lakota, but we see a spirit in there. We feel a spirit and a connection. And to the young men, I rarely talk to the young men like this, but I will say, if you're out there and you're feeling angry and you see what's happening and you want to support and contribute, the best advice I can give for your life and for how you represent as a Lakota man is listen to the women. We've listened to enough men, I think, in my opinion. And, you know, not that all men are bad or whatever, but like we've done that enough, I think. And in my life, if it wasn't for Valerie DeCruz, I wouldn't be here. If it wasn't for Gene Smith, I wouldn't be here over at Tioshpadopa. If it wasn't for if it wasn't for Lori Puyer at First People's Fund, who like really supported like the types of art that I'm trying to do in community, I would not be here. And I listen to them. But part of that too is holding back from myself. There's times where I want to fight and I want to make things stop, but I listen to my mom and them, and when they tell me no, because you're going to end up in jail too. These cops don't care. We need you here. We need you to support us. We need you to listen to us. We need you to think really hardly about what you do and take care of your heart in that way. So to the young men, the young boys, you know, listen to the women and don't be afraid to be made fun of by the other boys, because eventually, you know, I'm experiencing it now where I'm growing up now, and I've listened to the women. I've listened to my grandmas. I cherish them, even though they aren't here. And for me, even just in my own life, it's made me survive and be okay. But also, like, you know, I'm not the executioner. I don't think anybody should be. That's why they used to wear black cloaks and everything, so nobody knew who they was. But it's nice to be able to find my own way of like, okay, this is how I protect. This is how I can't change it all, but at least for the ones out there who are women or LGBT or relatives like that, I feel like I'm doing everything I can to make sure that they know that even though there's crazy people out there, they have a relative in me, and that I'm going to do everything I can to stay here for them and be here for them. Because I always view it like that. Like my grandma said, if not me, then who? That's how you got to enter everything. Not that nobody's going to do anything. Just think to yourself like that. If not me, then who? Well, okay, then that's my journey. Don't matter what's going on next to me.
Thank you. Justin or Matho, you have any comments on that? And
Yeah, building off of kind of what Jana and Talon both said, I think some game for the youth, and yeah, there's so much. I feel like, you know, there's on a kind of global scale right now, we're seeing this with young boys and young men, and where it's like an epidemic, like financially, education wise, mental health wise. I think there's a losslessness that Native men are unfortunately really accustomed to, which is, you know, I was just reading this Mahbi Aluta quote, this Red Cloud quote, where he said, he's like, you take away, they took away our buffalo, which took away our people, which takes away the land. Something in that succession thing, you know what I mean? Like they took the food source, which it created a cataclysmic kind of relationship with the land and whatnot. And that's also what patriarchy perpetuates. It shows there's kind of, you are not part of the land, therefore it can be purchased and exploited and extracted and raped in a lot of ways, you know, and that permeates into our treatment of people in our community, you know, and it's really heartbreaking. But it's also interesting to see how that has been in all races and all ethnicities right now. It's like, you can look at trends, it's like bad. And I know a lot of young Lakota men and Lakota women, and just, you know, people in general are feeling that, and they're kind of resorting to these ulterior sources of inspiration. That's where you get the, you know, manosphere, and people starting to vilify women and folks like that. And there's a Malcolm X quote about that. It's like the media will have you hating the oppressed and loving the oppressor, you know. And then there's the Audre Lorde quote. You know, you can't dismantle the house of oppression with the tools of the master. And so I really would implore and encourage our Waukesha to like really love yourself and to question different things and to find the humanity in our everyday life, you know, and to know there's something that happens within these communities that we have, which are so loving, but also so complicated. And I think a lot of that has to do with like self-loathing. And I see those things, maybe this is the privilege of zooming out a little bit, but I do try to zoom out as much as possible. And I understand, well, is this person really a bad person, or were they raised in a harmful environment? And what is that a part of? That's a system. You know, that's racism, that's sexism, that's poverty, all these kinds of things. So zooming out for me personally has had me leading with more compassion and kindness and love for people, and understanding like you are not just the equation of your circumstance, and you don't have to settle for what's expected of you, and make some noise, make a lot of noise, you know? And I think that's something that has helped me a lot in my art too, and my advocacy and community and whatnot, is like learning those little tidbits of education, and which we got a lot of Black educators and a lot of Black authors and musicians to thank too. Mm-hmm. And yeah, what Talon said too, piggybacking on that, is it's like knowing as a man how to step back and how to empower and how to assist and whatnot is super important. And those are some tidbits that I've like really honed in on. And I've had, the immense privilege. I was thinking about that the other day too. I was like, man, how much is my career and all my success or all my opportunities, how much is that at the willingness and the kindness and the generosity of Native women? And it's like so much, you know, and it's just like expected. And that's really, it's disheartening, you know? And so I'm really curious about different ways that we can acknowledge that and also take action, you know, and like really do those kinds of things. And it starts with, uncomfortable conversations, like you said, like checking a homie about saying, don't say the B word, don't say the C word, don't treat women like that, da-da-da-da-da. And there's something that Lakota men sometimes, this is the last thing I'll say, but it'll become positive. But we kind of do this thing where we like dehumanize our own women, where it's just like, you're so sacred, so just like, stay inside.
Yeah, don't do anything.
You know what I mean? It's like, you're so wakan. Like, oh, the women are sources of all life, so don't interrupt me. And it's like, what do you mean right now? Like, what are you talking about? So I'm hopeful, and we see it, you know, on set. We saw it on set. There's a lot of this. It was ran by Lakota women or indigenous women, and that was really cool. And it will only benefit us if we continue that and prolong that and proliferate it to amplify that. Because for real, man, like, you're not a man unless you have women in your life who are willing to like assist you, and you can assist them, and it's just healing at the end of the day. So that's some woke up I can give y'all.
Yeah, shout out to Rizal, Benali, and Morningstar Angeline. Like, whoa, like, the way they have carried us in these moments throughout, and Sahar. There's way too many to name. It was really, really special. And Matho, you bring up a great thing too about like compassion and how difficult it is, because like it could be easy to step into like, man, well, screw that, and then you close yourself off to that person completely. And sometimes you have to do that. Like, you have no choice. You've tried, you've put yourself out there, you've tried to correct them, but to at least make that attempt of like understanding, that's hard, that's difficult, but it's worth it, right? That's strength.
Yeah,
you're talking about strength in a lot of ways. Yeah,
and something too, I want to like give a quick shout out to any Two-Spirit folks listening, because I identify as that as well. And I think, really lean into that, like for real, like kind of what we talked about, specificity and universality. And there's a place for you, and you're not alone. And the world that we live in, and some of even your classmates or your family or relatives, because of what they've gone through in their own lives, your uniqueness is threatening to them, and they might become insecure, so they might treat you in a certain type of way. But that's not reality. That's just how they feel, you know, and you don't have to internalize that. And lean into that. And it's, you know, there are safe spaces in this world, and it might not seem like there is right in front of you, but just trust in yourself and trust in that too. And like, I think kind of what we all said. I feel like if you're moving in a place that if you aren't yourself, that might be the way you enter a room, not being yourself. And that's a lot of the men we deal with, they have this toxic positionality and this masculinity and stuff. It's like, okay, that might have got you in some doors and stuff, but then you're also operating with people who are also not being themselves. So then you're attracting that type of posse around you, and then you're getting that type of opportunities that are all built on you not being yourself. And so then 30 years later, you look back and you've never been yourself. And that's, I think, where you get a lot of like the generational violence towards people, and stuff. So yeah, like being yourself is it's like the key, man. It's like that's gonna heal the whole community too. Everyone being themselves, dang, that's a good cookout or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, akele do I know nagupta yakaki he wana ichano kiglustank da chale. Do I know let you him na wuglaki na wopilak trako kiprepelona do I na tiata heche. Nagupta nakaki ija na tayan let you. Le taku he I wuglaka ki he wana nach und he trokata ki he trecho ya te ki o dokel he onke o koki hanta chet ka onki ukjampik te lo cha he ogna wupila trako ki prepelo. At this time we're nearing the closing of our program, and we want to thank the guests for coming today and being a part of the program. And also, if we have any closing comments, we'll go around and maybe you want to share a few words in closing, and then we'll end with the phrase of the day.
Ooh.
My name is Matho Ayuhi. Pleasure to be here. Wopila Tonka, Jana, and to the other guests. Appreciate y'all. And I don't know when the movie's coming out, because I know that's going to be the first question we all get. But yeah, I don't know. But stay tuned for Directing Charlie.
Yeah, Wopila Tonka for having me, Dana, and for having me, KIPI. And thanks to Cheyenne River for having me home and for treating me great. And just a heads up to all the folks who are going to be like, when are we going to get another show? We're trying. Okay, we are trying. And every year we have things that we're pitching in Hollywood and that are written by Native folks and created by Native folks. And it's going to happen. It takes a long time, and but we're working on it. And there's going to be more jobs, more opportunities, more access to our communities to doing film and television. And so I just want everybody to get excited about that potential and do whatever you need to do to prepare yourself technically and artistically, because when opportunity arrives, you got to be able to hop on that horse and ride it till dawn.
I'm excited that Audre Lorde was mentioned. And right after that phrase that Matho quoted, she talks about the significance of difference, of working. That difference isn't fearful, but it's actually something needed to create something new. And I sit here with my Lakota relatives as a Filipino, and I think about what my ancestors used to do. We used to travel across the ocean. And when you take one star and look in the ocean, you kind of have a sense of a general direction. But when you put one star into constellation with all these other stars, you give a map for the people to navigate the people. So what I think about when Matho mentioned before that he knows all these people from these different spaces, all of us are lighting a fire. All of us are giving something special to the world. And then we come together in other spaces, and we're not there to take over someone else's space, but we're there to be in a relationship with these other spaces. So a single star can give us some direction, but when we start linking these stars together and start seeing difference as generative, then we really can provide a map for the people. And that's what we're trying to do, humbly.
Hello, everyone. I'll just say, Cheyenne River, man, I love you guys. Love you very much. The elders, the youth, people my age. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so appreciative of all these people who came here to bring this here. This even though I don't live here, I have, histories here and stuff like that. I love this place with a big incredulous piece of my heart. And Dewi Choniki, or Lakota country, Lewi Choniki Washtekdelo. In this life, everything's gonna be okay, and I hope my people here know that. I hope my friends here know that I look up to all you guys so much. The jokes, the stories, the mistakes, the successes. It's like I've always been intimidated and at the same time admiring all of my friends and family here. I told my cousin yesterday, I said, I look to you for strength because I see how you use your voice, cuz, and how you walk. I could only dream of being strong as you guys. That's every day. So I hope people here know that you're strong, you're beautiful, you're awesome. So many people in this world would want to take any one of our days and turn it into $1 million, multi-million-dollar earning film, project, song, whatever. But those are ours every day. And we carry that weight. That's how strong we are. And so I love you all. Thank you, Dana, Wopila Tonka. Thank you, Carl. Shout out to DJ Supernatural and just everybody. Yeah, love.
Wopila Tonka. The closing phrase is when something is happening and you might be losing that momentum to keep going on and maybe wanting to quit or maybe fall by the wayside or turn the other way and run. The phrase that one of my brothers, elder brothers, he always encouraged me, and he said, "Kshi ichun wo." Kshi ichun wo means hang in there, keep going. Kshi ichun wo. And that's just a small phrase, but again, it's an encouragement too, because someone's ready to quit, someone's ready to give it up or whatever, and say "Ksiya chunwa," but in a positive sense, because we don't want to go to a bar or whatever, a party, and say "Ksiya chunwa."
Another one.
So but
That might be your T-shirt.
We always have to take it in stride that we want to have good conversation and encourage each other. So with that, we're going to close, and thank you all for being here, and we're at the end of our hour. So,